Hey, it's your boy Protagonist JWall with Garden JWall, and we're apparently doing this a second time. I was putting the phone in to see all the stuff as I was thinning this branch, and a leaf hit the stop button on the record and messed everything up. So in today's video, we're going to talk about thinning stone fruit, specifically peaches and apricots. This is going to be kind of more of a high-level video because I think it's pretty simplistic. First thing you want to do, based on the size of your trunk, imagine how much fruit you want to give to it, right? The thicker the trunk, the more fruit you can do. This is a pretty good sized trunk. So based on that trunk's thickness, which is about diameter at its thickest base is probably like 2.5 inches, maybe closer to 3. So based on that, I think 30 to 40 fruit for this tree should be good. And because apricots and peaches don't have a long hang time, I like to skew towards the smaller end. So for me, 30 fruit on this will be a good size. So I want to limit myself down to 30 fruit. So that's the first thing. Have a total number in mind. The next step is be cognizant of how much fruit is producing on a single branch. If you produce too much on a single branch, that branch, look at that, beautiful, that branch will break and you will be no better off. So be cognizant. So this branch right here can produce a hell of a lot more than this branch right here. That's the thing to think about. And the closer you are to the base of the branch, the more fruit you can support versus being at the tip, because it's more structurally sound right here. So you may want to thin fruits at the tip and leave the fruits at the base. So if you're like, hey, I got a 6-inch branch, I could probably hold 2 fruit on it. If the fruit are in the first 2/3, you're likely right. But if all the fruit are at the tip, you really want to thin it down to 1. So that's just something to think about. So the final piece is how close are the fruit together. Typically for apricots, I've learned that it's you want to have fruit not be within 3 to 4 inches of each other. So like for this, for example, it's the sunlight, it's terrible. You can see the fruits here. It focuses, bending this every which way. You can see the fruit here, and they're about 4 inches apart, maybe 3.5. And this branch it's the only thing on this branch. So I'm pretty confident that this branch will be fine holding this much of fruit. So I'm not going to worry about it. So those are the 3 pieces to think about. Step 1, what is the total amount of fruit I can do? Step 2, what is the total amount of fruit that one specific branch can hold? And then step 3, do I have any fruit that is too close to each other, i.e. less than 3 inches? That's the step methodology you want to do. And I think that's the good order of operations. Because you may find yourself saying, look, step 1 says I can do 30 fruit. Step 2 says I need good structural support, and all my fruit are towards the base of all the branches. So I know I have good structural support. But they're closer than that 3-inch moniker. But if I thin everything that's within 3 inches, I won't get the 30 fruit. So in that case, you might be able to be a little bit more flexible with the spacing. But like I said, that's why my order of operations is total number of fruit the tree can support, total number of fruit that specific branch can support. Then if you need to thin more, 3 to 4 inch spacing between fruit. That's the order of operations I go to with apricots, and I'll do with this tree. Now, if we go over to the peach is a slight caveat. First of all, total number of fruit that a peach can do. This is the top part of a branch, but this is probably like a 1.5 to 2 inch caliper, and then it's thicker down at the base where the graft union is. So for this size, I would like to probably do 30 peaches at least would be my goal for this type of tree. That's just kaolin clay at the bottom, what I used to spray the trunks. And typically, so that's the first step, right? What's my total number? For me, my total number is about 35 peaches. Okay, nice. Well, what about what a peach can support? These branches have some pretty good thickness to them. So I think structurally these branches will be able to support quite a bit. But I still got to keep that in mind when I'm thinning, because as you can see, you get a lot of peaches that grow towards the tips. So you have to be aware of that. Next, for peaches, here's where it gets different. Peach proximity, you want to use 6 inches. So for apricots, because they're smaller, the proximity is 3 to 4. For peaches, it's 5 to 6. Well, it looks like I got my my call. I gotta go. I gotta. Oh wait, no, I don't. Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought my wife was calling me. Thought lunch was gonna be ready, but I lost my train of thought. So yeah, same methodology. What is the total the tree can support? What is the total the branch can support? And then if you still need to thin out more, 5 to 6 inch spacing. Though that's the simplistic step that I do to thin trees. Now these peaches, I was on the first video, you don't see, it's kind of hard to spin them off. So I'm gonna have to work on that. Now this right here, this branch, I'm comfortable with it supporting 1 peach. 3 peaches, no, that's too much. I need to remove another one. 2 peaches, because remember, this is a larger peach, it's a Florida King. 2 peaches, I think on this type of branch with its thickness would be stretching it. So I'm probably just gonna thin this to 1, but I'm gonna thin this to 2, and then I'm gonna come back to it. I'm gonna do a total count on my tree because it's still small and manageable, as you can see. I'll do a total count on my tree, or to get an approximate count. And if I'm still too high, I'm gonna drop this down to 1. But I think I could do 2 on this, but 3 is definitely too much. Based on experience with this tree, 2 peaches on a branch like this with this thickness should be okay. Keep in mind, when you're wrong, you lose it all. So, definitely play it safe. So I actually probably should thin this to just 1. And if I thin it to 1, I'm likely going to thin these 2 off, because this is less likely to get hit by birds. All right, well, that's your boy Protagonist JWA, Gardening with JWA, and I'm gonna let you guys go. But yeah, that's the high level, super simplistic way I look at thinning stone fruit, specifically peaches and apricots. See you next time, guys.